Good morning, madam.
Hi, good morning.
As members of the Readers Club, we are here to conduct an interview with you in connection with Teachers Week. And Devmanda and I'm here with Amal and Amni to talk to you and learn more about your experiences. Shall we begin with the first question?
Yeah, sure.
Could you please share with us one of your favorite memories as a student?
As a student, yeah, I was a KB student from first to 10th standard, and my father used to get transfer every 3 years. And one of my favorite memories to speak of is the day I landed uh, in Calicut, KB. Right. So my father had got a transfer from Chennai. I've been studying in Gilnagar at that time. And from there, I came to KV Calicut. So there, I had entered the class with my bag, which was a backpack. And there was one kit with me, lunch kit, which had a 3-tier tiffin, right? With rice. Then he had the curry and he had the sabji on top of it. And there was one bottle of curd. And when the lunch break came, I opened my kits, took out one after the other, and kept on the table. Whereas all my classmates had this one dabba. They had bobbled the food fast and they'd gone. From that day, I bought a likni, and that was Patati, a Brahmin who has come all the way from Chennai, right? Bringing Tairi Sadam and Sambar and Sabji. So this is one of my fond memories. And of course, I got other nicknames also, which I don't want to tell over here. But this was the first nickname that I got. Till then, no one had thought of it. This was in the 7th standard. Okay.
How do you feel about everything you have accomplished during your teaching journey?
In fact, I did not work in order to achieve the accomplishments that I had achieved. Uh, it just came like that. For example, I got the award for the Innovation and Experimentation Project, which was instituted by KBS. It's a national award. Uh, I didn't think of applying for it. So what had happened was, um, I'd um, I'd been for the Fulbright Fellowship, and an exchange teacher had come to Palakkad. She had visited our scheme. So before she reached here, she had asked me, shall they begin one letter exchange program? Okay. So I said, why not? She said, I'll take one class from my side. You can take one class from your side. We started this exchange program. Letters were exchanged. And finally, when the whole thing was over, I thought, why not? I combine the whole thing and send it for this project. It just happened, Abba. So every thing that I've achieved, it just happened like that. Similarly, the Bolt Award that I got, the free Singapore trip that I got, all these, even last minute, it would come and I would rush filling it up and sending it. But then, God will, I got. That's all. And I used to feel very happy whenever such things were being announced. It's not that I was proud, but then at least some recognition is being given to the work that I had done. That's what I do.
Yes. Madam, you have been a teacher for over 30 plus years. So we would like to know about the changes that you have observed in the educational system over your 30 plus years of teaching.
So 30 plus my dad, really 37 plus years. Okay. And a lot of changes that come. Initially, the teacher held a very important position in schooling, even when I was studying and when I started my career also. So all the children, they depended on the teacher. There was a lot of attachment between the students and the teacher. And they used to net, and in those times we did not have these notes and other things, and even the computer was not there. So whatever they could, they try to get from the teacher. And we used to sit together. We used to know each student, and that time the strength was not this much. There were only around 28 to 30 students in a class. So it was quite convenient. We knew each student inside out. And even in the classroom, though the computer was not there, my policy was to do something different. So I'd introduce chota innovative ideas, like which I used to continue with you people also. I think Aman and Navneet might be knowing the new word or what was it? A dairy info, where something connected was with English was introduced in the class every day. At least not that everyone would what is it, to try, or they would look into it and correct themselves. At least a handful of them would seriously look into it. So that gave me a kind of motivation. So I tried many different things. This was one novel thing that I had tried. Similarly, mnemonics, where the spellings are taught. Yeah, could you just tell at least was something that I'm talking?
Separation. And there's a rat in separation.
There's a right in separation. About you, anything? About grammar, do you remember? There is your mother in grammar, Amma. Grammar. AMMA comes in the middle.
Principal and principal.
Principal and principal. What did I tell you for that?
Principal is your pal.
Is your pal, is your friend. So you will not go wrong. In spite of all these, if when children write, they write PLE. But then, at least a few of them remember this, and they might write in the correct way. So I think, and but now technology, I think I've become outdated now, because I'm not able to keep abreast with the present trend of technology. Uh, I feel more comfortable without that. Okay. I feel that the teacher talk, and I think it is in Finland or one of the countries, Sweden. Yeah, they have stopped this technology business, and they have now introduced from this year, this academic session, they have introduced the old teaching method, the chop and talk method, because nowadays they feel that technology is overtaking uh, the teacher, and so many things are being missed by the children. The direct conversation, the values that the students imbibe from the teacher, all these things are being lost during the course of time, and so now they have stopped it. And I think that's a welcome change. I don't know whether all the new gen will agree to it.
Thank you, ma'am.
Nan, looking back, is there a particular memory can you find especially hilarious?
Hilarious memory. I've already told you one. Uh, Instead of a hilarious memory, I would like to tell you something which made me proud to be a teacher. Right? It is about my one of I cannot say one of my favorite student, Kiran Ramachandran. Okay, I came in touch with him when I joined the Vidyalaya long back in 1988, when he was in the 7th standard. Uh, I don't know, I noticed some kind of a spark in him. And I knew that this boy is really good in English. And the kind of English he spoke, the kind of English he used to write, and his attitude, that confidence that he had when speaking, that made me pick him up for different publications. And when I used to sit, at that time, there used to be workbooks for 6, 7, 8 classes. He used to help me in correcting the workbooks. Only the blanks had to be corrected. So, ma'am, can I help you? So, he used to do that for me. And he finally, he wanted to become a teacher of English. And he told me that I inspired them to become a teacher of English. And luckily enough, he became a teacher of English. Initially, he was working for a public school, but he left that job. He took his ankle. Then he did a diploma from Oxford University in Egypt. Now he is in Doha, and he's doing very well there. And he has even written books. One of his books I can is here in the library, an anthology where what is that? I don't exactly remember the name of the book. It's all short story. There are so many stories in that. It's a very thin book, and one story is one paragraph in some cases, but then it really touches the heart. The moment you read it, you get the feel of having read an entire book. And this Kiran, he has sponsored prizes for the toppers in English in class 10 and 12. And also, he has sponsored prizes for the library readers, right? And that particular thing he wanted, this prize, he wanted to be sponsored in my name. I told him, the year before I retire, I will announce that this is a prize that has been sponsored by Kiran Ramachandran. Um, and this is in my name. Last year I did it because this year I'm going to retire. For the last annual day, I did it and he was very happy. Till then, because prize is sponsored by Kiran Ramachandran. There was no Rukmini Menon. So now it is Rukmini Menon Prize Award for the topper in English. For those, and he has also given sponsored prizes for those who are pursuing English, because now everyone wants to be a doctor or an engineer, and only sciences matter now. So he said we have to cultivate this interest for English, and in order to motivate the children, he has also sponsored a prize for students who are pursuing English after school because they are really interested in it.
Over the many years you have spent teaching, what are some of the lessons or insights you feel you have gained from your students?
Quite a lot. Okay, one is they've taught me how to be patient. Okay, that is one key. And the children, I really feel very bad when I come to the school during the vacations. When the school is empty, there is light only when children are around. That's what I pay. And yes, you have taught me how to be patient. You have motivated me to be a better teacher. Some of the innovative practices that I've tried are just because of you. Because you have showed interest in whatever I have tried to put across, and that made me think of something new. So that is another thing. My creativity has been enhanced because of you people. And another thing is, yes, I can do something for the society. I started feeling when I started interacting with the children, with the parents. And when they come and tell me, yes, you have done so much for my child, I feel really elated. So these three things I've gained from them. And of course, technology. If I go to the class and if I want to operate immediately, I need the help of my students. And sometimes they teach me how to do it. Now in 6th standard, I didn't know how to use that smart board because I resigned myself. I said, no, I will not use it. But then the 6th standard children, when I was using the chalk and writing on the board this year, just a few weeks back, they said, madam, why don't you use that smart board? Then I said, I don't know how to use it. We'll teach you, man. So they were my teachers for that day. They told me, madam, you just make use of your hand. If you need a pen, we'll give you. But then they showed me how to do it. They switched on that smart board. And now I use the smart board in 6th standard in order to help them write their notes. Okay, so even, yeah. child is the father of man. You learn a lot from children. Okay, I behave in that. I keep my eyes and ears open whenever I'm with children.
Madam, if you could share any advice to a newer teachers, what would it be?
Yeah, it would be that they have to know the what do you say, the feel of the class, first of all. All the classes are not the same. Right. In some classes, you have to use different methods. You don't use the same method for all the classes. You have to look at the students who are there in that particular class. Okay. And then you have to change your methodology of teaching accordingly. And one thing is, be with the children. Don't keep them away from you. That is my advice. Always be with them. Understand. They are also human beings. They too have their feelings, and you have to understand them. And once you get them, then there is no looking back. You can do what you can do wonders if you are able to bring your children to your side. If you are able to make them understand, yes, you are going to do something beneficial for them, something that will be of use to them later. Then there is no looking back, I should tell, because they will be with you. And another thing is, even if technology comes, be a human being. Be a human being. Not only when you are in front of the children, also in your life. Okay. These are some of the things that I would like to tell the new entries into the kitchen. Right?
Ma'am, if you can go back to the first day of teaching, what advice would you give a
What advice would you give your
younger self?
younger
Sir,
younger self? Okay, I remember the day I came to the school, that is Satrapadi. It was a very, you cannot imagine sitting in such a school. It is it was an old building. Now it is no more. It was an old building, and uh, a traditional Kerala type building with tiles on top. And each room was a classroom. Each room of that building was a classroom. So in some cases, we had to have those, what do you call it, temporary boards separating both the class. So what is taught here can be heard on the other side. There were wooden, what is it, sticks, right? And when I went there, I thought, oh God, because I came from a KV, which was really well furnished. That is KV Calicut from where I passed 10. So I remember that KV and TCL was entirely different. But then the kind of bond and affection the building had, the students had, the teachers had, that is something which I cannot explain. Because the first day, I was a senior most teacher, just fresh from college. I had no experience at all. This is my first experience as a teacher, and the senior most, drivel the senior most position, because I was the first TGT to join that school when you're DG. And that headmistress, the principal who was there, officiating principal, was Radha Madam. Yeah, she was like a mother to me. Her daughter was in the 8th standard, and I was given the class teachership of class 8. Those children, even now I remember each one by their name. I remember their handwriting. And Sai Anand, the topper of that particular class, had come a few days back. So to meet me. So that particular day, I went to the class. I took the class. I came down, and the next day, the principal called me and told me, Rigmini, you have won. They are in love with young blood. I was young then. Now I'm 60. Okay. So that was the greatest motivation that I got. Okay. That made me feel, yes, I can succeed in my profession. And from then on, it was all the children. And those children, of that particular batch. I think many of them will be coming on 25th, which is my official retiree function day. Not retiring day, retiree function day. So they said they will try to make it as much as possible. Yeah, that is, what was your question actually?
What advice will you give your younger?
My younger self. I think I should take the advice of my younger self. Love. Okay. Be as motivated as you had been then, even when you are reaching the end of your career. Don't be demotivated. Go ahead with full motivation. Okay, that's what I would like to eat.
Thank you. We would love to know who or what inspired you to become an English teacher.
Yeah, that was my English teacher, my dear Takapan sir. Uh, I guess last Sunday I spoke to him to seek his blessings because I'm going to retire. The moment I told that, he asked me, "Oh, Rukmini, what is that? Are you going to retire?" And I cannot believe it. Then I asked him, "Sir, how old are you?" And when he told his age, then I said, "Yes, I'm his student." So naturally, way back. And he became my teacher in 7th standard. 7, 8, 9, 10. He had taught me English. He had laid the foundation for me. Uh, and we used to love his classes. He used to read out stories to us. That's how I became closer to books. Even though my father had introduced me to Amachitra Kathas, Rajagopalachari's Ramayana, Mahabharata, and R.K. Narayan's books. It was this particular teacher who used to correct us when we used to speak with the wrong pronunciation. He used to read out original works of Mark Twain, Tom Sawyer, Huckleberry Finn, and even George Orwell, Animal Farm. We used to wait for that. So weekly, 1 or 2 periods we used to keep aside for that. And we used to really wait for those classes. We used to listen to you, so be very articulate. And he used to run from this end to the other, and he'll go from left to right. Uh, they just enjoyed it because they had never listened to a person who could speak really good English till then. And he was our favorite teacher. And as luck would have it, I could work with him. I don't say under him. When he was a principal, I was a teacher and he was my principal at Naval Base 2. When the transfer order came, I asked him, "Sir, are we posted to your school?" He had not got that order. Should I come or not? So, do the children there speak English? Then he said, "Hey, you just come down, yaar. That is all." Then I asked it, "Sir, do they speak English?" Because I have heard that naval base, many of them are Hindi speaking students because it's a population, it's a floating population. They get transferred every naval background. Then he said, "We will teach them to speak English." And for 1.5 years, he used to just barge into my class. And one day I took a class, it was a poem by William Wordsworth, The Solitary Reaper. I put in my best. Previous day, he told me that he would be coming to my class. And so I took a lot of pains in order to prepare that lesson. And I knew that by not because I'd learned it from him. He was the one who had taught me that in 9th standard. So after the class was over, he sat through. After the class was over, he said, "David, Willie, you have killed that poem." I was surprised. "You did not take properly. I didn't like it. You were dissecting the poem, piece by piece. This is not the way to teach." Then I thought, then what should I do, sir? How will I be able to teach better? So he took me to his room and he told, "These are the things that you can do in order to," because I had been under the impression that they couldn't really learn. And then I said, "Sir, next time you have to come to another class of mine." He said, "Of course, I'll come." So that was Julius Caesar. And he said, yes, excellent. With that, I'd passed the test. So that is Chakapan, sir. He had come to my house, then we shifted to the new house. I don't know, that kind of affection that still remains. He asks about all the family members, how are they? He knows everyone by name. Uh, that is it. That relationship we still maintain.
Yeah. Madam, if you could make any change or improve anything in the current education system, what would it be?
I want grammar to be, now I think they have realized it. And in your class, that is 8th standard and 6, 7, 8 books, that is Pakka grammar, the traditional grammar. That is needed. That's what I feel. As far as English is concerned, children should know the rules of, because you can speak English even without knowing the rules of grammar. That's true. But this speaking will not do. If you want to write well, you should know the rules of grammar, the things that we have studied. And that traditional method of giving with the nomenclature for each part of speech. Like for example, if you had the verb, there's a past participle. Earlier it used to be just communicative. You need English only for communication. Even if it is wrong, it is okay. If you are able to communicate what you want to, there's no problem. But now I think they have realized that it is not very good to do that. And so they have come back. Now I'm happy to teach in 6, 7, and 8 with those textbooks where I can introduce the grammar and I can make them know that, yes, this is right and this is wrong.
Thank you.
Ma'am, we'd like to hear about your favorite memory during your time teaching at this school.
At this school,
Yes.
uh, there are so many favorite memories. Yeah, again, I think I should bring Kiran into the picture. My favorite memory was when he landed here without my knowledge. Okay, during my 30th year of teaching. Like that particular year was the 30th year of teaching, 29. That same day I joined, 29 June. When I completed my 30th year, this fellow was here in school. I had gone to Mysore for some course, and I come at the gate. The watchman told me one of your students has reached, and I thought, one of my students, who's that? He did tell what his name was. Okay, then I came inside and I found this one standing every year. That is another thing. Whenever he comes to India, almost every time he has come down to India, he makes it a point to spend one day with me in my house. Okay, so at that and in the evening we go out to have dinner. He will be the one who will be paying for that. I give him the Naran's food at home. So that is how the equation works. And this boy is standing here. My eyes were really filled. I was very much touched. He addressed the gathering here. Uh, it was too much. I got goosebumps that day. That was a really unforgettable moment for me.
Everyone has done something a little silly at some point. Would you be willing to share one of the silliest things you've ever done?
Silliest things that I have done as a teacher or as a student?
Teaching or student?
Teacher or student. Yeah, I'll just recollect one of the things that I had done as a student when I was in first standard. Okay. I was put in first standard directly without having attended LKG, UKG. So my student, my classmates, they knew how to write their name. They knew how 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They could write in numerals. They could write the spellings. My mother had taught me, of course. But then tutoring at home, you know how it is. So I did not know much. But my mother had taught me how to write my pet name. I'll tell you what it is later. So that what had happened was the teacher came to the class. The teacher said, write 1 to 10. Okay, 1 to 10. Jasmine had it, I remember. She and I could write 1 to 10, but only 1. It was out of question. And maybe I went wrong in between also. I was afraid. And then she said, once you have completed, write your name there. Took me, my known such a long name. I didn't know. So what I did was I wrote my pet's name on top of that. And therefore I was shivering. I didn't know what to do. Because all the others, they gave the papers and I was just sitting there. I wrote, my pet name is Maya. So I wrote M-A by A there. Okay. Then next day she came with the papers. She asked us to write it on sheets of paper. Right. She came and phone. Yeah, I'm going to give back the papers. And my mark was not very good, first of all. And who is this person here? I don't know. I don't know a girl whose name is this. Who's this? I was afraid to stand up. Then she made me stand up and I started crying. Okay, that was the silliest thing that I did because she was so very kind. She told me, I'll teach you how to write your spelling. No. Then she had to call my brother. My brother was in the 9th standard and he came down all the way to pack because we were siblings who were 8 years apart. Okay, so he was like a father figure to me at that time. And he came down, he consoled me. And while going back, he bought me a toffee. All that happened. Right. So, but this was something that happened in the first standard. Now I feel that it was a silly thing to do. But at that time, it was something very serious. Right.
Andy.
Madam, we know that you have been a part of Readers Club for such a long year. So, how was your experience in Readers Club?
Readers Club, I joined us because of this person here who's standing behind the camera. That is Mujib. Yeah. The moment I spotted him again, the day he joined, I know that this fellow has got something in him. And I told him, yeah, you have to aspire for certain awards and all that. And then the way he was working, the way he was motivating the children, and it's a bonus for the English teachers, when students start reading, naturally their language improves. So that was happening because that magic effect could be seen in the classroom. And when the readers, when they were dividing the teachers into different clubs, I think first time I opted for Readers Club, and together we were able to do so much. I still remember that first Readers Club meeting and the leader election, how they used to come and address the students. It was fantastic. So after that, I stuck to Readers Club. And in between 1 year, I remember I went to the Dramatics Club, or I was made to go forcefully. Every time you cannot be the Readers Club, someone said, and they could be in some other club. And one student, just some 2 months back, I think it was Sri Ram who told me, Madam, not Sri Ram, it was Sangeet Sadler who told me. He contacted me after many years, some 1 month back. He told me, Madam, I joined the Readers Club thinking that you would be there, but I was so disappointed when you did not turn up. I asked Mujib sir, where is Madam? And he said, she's not in this club, she's in some other club. Even he didn't know which club I had been in. So, and then I found out that he went in the Dramatic Club. I felt very bad that I was not there. So only 1 year, I think, I was away from the Readers Club. Throughout, I had been, and there is no one, even this year, I think the Readers Club is doing very well. You people are a part of that. And this particular interview is also a part of the Readers Club. Something new, something which we have not done till now. And these children, I really appreciate you, the way you are improving on what you already have. People write well. Students, majority of the students in Readers Club, they write when they are good readers. I'm happy about it. And I'm sure that Mujib will definitely see that uh, more innovative uh, projects will be taken up by the Readers Club.
Thank you.
You have visited other countries and went to their schools. So, as far as the teaching methods are concerned, what difference did you see in the schools of the US schools and syllabus stores and stars, let us say, the Indian schooling system? What changes to his?
Yeah, a lot of changes are there. First of all, the ratio, student-teacher ratio. There, it's not more than 50 to 80 students per classroom. And the students have to go to the teacher. Teacher will be sitting in the room. Students come to that wood. Okay, now the teacher going to the classes. Then, but there are drawbacks. There are positive aspects to it. So I got a chance as a Fulbright scholar to be in live classes, and I found that there it's more of technology. A lot of technology is being used in the classrooms. The teacher talk is less, and they are being given assignments which they have to bring. Like for example, one class that I visited, that the students were asked to do homework very less, nothing, just finding out words. That then they give the Xerox copies of the work that they have to do. The teacher gives them. Next day they have to come and they check the answers. It is just it was a word and act question that I saw them teaching, and so they have to figure out the word from the passage, which the meaning of which is given. That we had here also, and so they were told how to do it, and it was okay, fine. But what I found was, and they don't have a particular syllabus as such. The teacher can choose. They give you that it is fiction of 20th century money. The teacher can choose whichever writers, maybe the school chooses, writers or poets they would like to include in that. And then they start with that. But here we have got a prescribed syllabus for the whole nation. We have it, and we have to follow the same textbooks. But I think that this unified system is better because as far as Kendriya Vidyalayas are concerned, it is the best because it's meant for the floating population. Actually, though here in Kanchikode, we don't have that much of a floating population. Students who begin in first standard end up in 12th standard. But otherwise, it's not so, especially with the defense people. They get transferred every 3 years, central government employees. So what will happen is, if the syllabus is different in different schools, they find it very difficult. So I feel that this uniform syllabus is good. Technology-wise, of course, they were doing what we are doing now, them. Right? And I thought that those children would be very good in English. They would be able to speak and write English. They do make mistakes. Their handwriting is not also not that good. They cannot, read the running hand. You would have seen that they write separate letters, okay, print form. That's how they write it. And yeah, and I had a demo class there. It was Shakespeare's Seven Ages that I had taken there. And at the end of that, so in that particular poem, Shakespeare says that the life of a man is divided into 7 ages. Okay, at each stage, it begins with the infant, and it ends with the later old age. So how the infant is mewling and puking in the nurse's arms, and then finally he is without teeth and sight and all that towards the end. That is second childishness. So once that was over, I took that class. Children asked me questions because they don't have such a live session. I think they have not had this kind of a session in their classroom with their teacher. And once it is over, I said, now come on, a few of you can come, two for each stage of life, dramatize it while one is reading out the poem. I do that here in the class. So I thought of doing it there. And of course, they did it wonderfully then. It was a wonderful, I bought the photo of that, not the video, where they dramatized the poor thing. It was nice. Children are children everywhere. That's what I think. The more motivated they are, the more they will be able to come out of their shell. And children are the same. They also need love, care, affection. They also need to be appreciated. Yeah, that is another thing that I would like to tell the teachers. Also, even you people, when you grow up, whenever you see anything good, try to appreciate it, whether it is an institution or whether it is an individual. That goes a long way. When you get something positive, you get something positive back. So you'll be able to maintain that positivity throughout, that positive attitude. So please see that, appreciate anything good that you see. Don't keep it to yours. Don't feel jealous that that person is doing and I'm not able to do it. If someone gets marks more than you, oh yes, that's nice. This time you have scored more than me. Usually I top, but then congratulations. Okay, that will help you broken now.
Thank you. Madam, could you please tell us about your favorite book and what makes it special for you?
My favorite, earlier it used to be Maxim Gorky, initially when I was introduced to Maxim Gorky's mother. That made me cry a lot. I read it some 2 or 3 times. But then I thought I should start reading something different. My father, for one of my birthdays, I think when I was in the 5th or 6th standard, he gave me Swami and his friends. R.K. Narayan's book. I loved them. Even now, I quote in the classes about the Swami in some classes. Wherever the relevant experiences come, I make use of Swami's, what do you say, mischiefs. The ones that, because I could relate, I was not a mischief maker. I was a very calm student. I used to never create any problem for my teachers. But the boys of my class were very mischievous. So I could relate Swami to those boys of my class. And when I grew up and when I became a teacher, I could relate Swami to my students, some of the students who were in my class. And I used to laugh when even earlier I used to read out the abridged versions, not the original ones, because that takes a long time. So abridged ones I used to read out. My first batch of students who was I read them out, Tom Sawyer and Swami and all that. Even I used to giggle when I used to read out some of the parts. Children used to enjoy it. So I think it's my all-time favorite for me and his friends. Simple at the same. Now Sudha Murthy is that. She's also eco-digger.
Could you share a word that you feel best describes you and explain why you chose it?
Best describes me. Yeah, I don't know how to describe. Okay. Um, shall it you want one word or a sentence?
No, anything.
Okay. A person, I said inside video, a person um, who has chosen the noblest profession so that she could bring changes in the lives of her students. Yes,
Can you say why you chose it?
I told you, can't. That is another thing. Initially, when I started, I wanted to become a doctor because my parents wanted me to become a doctor, but they never compelled me. Okay, they just told their dish. So till 10, doctor. 10th standard, I got a chance because at that time 12th standard number of students were less. So 10th standard children were also given a chance to be teachers for the Teachers' Day. So I became a teacher of English, and also I was asked to take Sanskrit because I was good in Sanskrit. So the two subjects I dealt with, and both the teachers, they came and told me after that, the next day, that they didn't have to teach those lessons that I had taught. Children said, no need, Rukmini has taught us really well. So that actually struck me, and that was a seed that was laid in my mind. Okay, if nothing, I can become a teacher. So then I went, took second group where you have biology, physics, chemistry. Then I picked Hindi because maths was not my cup of tea. And then English, of course. When I started, everything was fine. But then I came to know that chemistry and physics were beyond. Organic chemistry went floating above my head. And physics problems, oh God, they were too tough. Then I thought it's time to say goodbye to science. And for my BA English, for my BA, I took English literature. And from then on, it was smooth sailing. And I wanted to become a lecturer in accounts. Never had I dreamt that I would become a school teacher. So what happened was, during after the MA examination, I was just going along the way, and I met one of my classmates in college mates. She was coming back from the B.Ed college after getting an application for B.Ed. Then I said, why are you going for B.Ed? Don't go for that. I'm going to be a lecturer in a college. I'm going to do my MPhil. I'm waiting for the results. In fact, I topped the university in the first year of my MA. So I am sure to get a seat. My professor had also told that. Then after that, I just go. Why? So the results come 1 year late. The MA results come 1 year late. So why waste 1 year? This college, NSS Trainee College for Tepalam. It's very near my house. So I thought, okay, that 1 year I'll utilize. Whether I become a school teacher or not, I will utilize for becoming for doing my B.Ed. In this Bachelor of Education. So I enrolled myself. I bought the admission, enrolled myself, completed my B.Ed. Again, my mind was with MPhil only. I'm going to do MPhil. By the time the MA results went out, and I got the third rank, I think, at the university. So MPhil. But before that, I got this. I'd applied for. Everyone had applied for KB. I too applied from my B.Ed college. And at that time, initially, I was the only one who had been called for the interview. Then I said, okay, I'll just go and attend and come. Anyway, I'm not going to be a teacher. I go and attend and come. I enjoyed that interview so much. I really loved it. I think I've narrated that to you. I don't want to waste the time here. So that was a wonderful interview. And towards the end, they asked me, so will you be ready to go anywhere in India if you are selected? I said, yes, anywhere. And then they said, that you will tell till you get married. After that, you will want to be where your husband is. I said, no, I will never do that. So that interview was over. I got posted at Kanchikode. Kanchikode is near Rattapalam. Rattapalam is my place. Then I said, no, I'm not going to join. Should I join? Then people around me started telling, central government job, nobody will get it like that. You have got it at your doorstep and you're saying no to it. You do this, you get into it, and then later do MPhil. Yeah, okay, I followed their advice. I joined. I never regret having been a school teacher. I am happy that I took up this profession because I don't think in college you get this kind of an interaction with the students. Though I still keep in touch with my college teachers, I don't think many do that. But with school teachers, it is entirely different. You can start shaping them young. after they have already been shaped to some extent when they reach point. Okay. Better than that is this. That's what I feel. And I'm happy that I've chosen this thing.
Thank you very much for taking the time to meet us and talk to us.
Thank you, Aman, Devnanda, and Navni, for having thought of this idea and for having chosen me, of all people. Anyway, it's my privilege to be in front of the camera. This is the first time I'm giving an interview like this. Thank you so much.